So you've been doing low carb for a while now, well, a week or two, and you're doing really well with it. And you've been mostly eating at home where you can control your foods and your ingredients, but you're going out to eat. So what do? That used to freak me out so much. I remember being really stressed about what can I eat in a restaurant. I was doing great as long as I could control it and as long as I made meals at home. But I got out to a restaurant and I would start to kind of panic a bit about what I was going to be able to have. And so I've learned over the past 2.5+ years, almost 3 years, kind of how to order. And I think it's really important. First of all, the first thing that I try to do is whatever restaurant we're going to, if I know in advance, I try to look at the menu. And the menus are everywhere now online. So if you've got a smartphone, you can check your phone, go to a desktop or a laptop and log on. And most restaurants, even locally owned restaurants, will have their menus available for you. So try to look it up ahead of time so that I'm well prepared. And when I do look at their menu, here's the thing you have to remember. Look at the entire menu, What I look for the sides that go with other entrees. So let's say that there's a deep fried chicken tender, or there's something that's deep fried, or something that has a really sweet sauce. Often those things are served with other sides that are okay to eat. In fact, we're going to take you out to dinner, so to speak, and we're going to look at a couple of menus from 4 popular restaurant chains across the U.S. And what you'll see in one of them is that there's a wonderful side of grilled avocado on another entree. So what I often do is I look through the menu and I decide, okay, the grilled shrimp sounds good, or the grilled salmon sounds good, or a burger sounds good, or I'll get this steak. So the first thing I do is I kind of pick out a meat. Anytime there's a sauce, I ask them to avoid, ask them to put it on the side, or don't do it, or ask them what's in it, ask them if there's any flour in it. But I pick out my meat, and then usually there's an entree with it. You can do a salad or something, or broccoli, and then usually there's a starch. I mean, that's just how they plan their plates. It's usually the meat, a vegetable, a starch. Sometimes it's 2 starches, but generally I'll ask them to substitute whatever the starch is. Easy substitutions that most restaurants have on hand is steamed broccoli, frozen vegetables, which are okay, side salads is an easy one. Spinach is usually in the house, and then sometimes you get lucky with sides like avocado or asparagus or cauliflower. Those are less common, but they do tend to have those on stock. So before we get on that path, let's talk about something else. When you go out to eat, you are the customer, you're the patron. And so what you have to get in your mind first, and this is huge for some people, is that it's okay to ask for what you want. This is something that I live by and something that I've tried to teach my children as well. Most of the time, folks will try to give you what you want if what you're asking for is reasonable. You aren't going to get what you want if you don't ask. If getting a no from asking for something would have killed me, I probably wouldn't have made it past the age of 5. So you have to be okay with asking. Don't worry about being a pain. It's your money. You're paying for your meal. You're probably paying for a tip for a server. Don't be unreasonable, but ask them. Now, when we go in, we kind of introduce ourselves to the server in terms of, we say, you know what, we eat differently. We don't eat starches, we don't eat sugars. They're still going to offer you dessert. That's okay. That's probably their job because they don't necessarily understand what that means. Not all of them, and that's okay. But I have learned kind of questions I ask, like, is there wheat in this? Because folks are gluten sensitive, and so they're pretty well programmed to know whether there's wheat, and they will ask. And if you tell them, you know, I'm avoiding sugar, it makes me feel bad, they don't want you to feel bad, because if you feel bad, they don't get a good tip. So keep that in mind. Don't worry about your friends. Don't worry about what folks are going to think. Oftentimes I'll call the server kind of over to me. I have a soft voice, and so that doesn't hurt. But I'll call the server over to me and say, okay, I've got a question about this. Oftentimes when I ask, let's say that I pick something and I say, you know, I want this chicken dish and I'm okay with the broccoli. I don't want the rice. I saw that over here you have sauteed spinach. Can I substitute that? Often the servers have to ask. They have to ask the manager, they have to ask the chef, someone in the kitchen, and that's okay. I usually ask it right off the bat so that they can go and ask whomever they need to ask while everyone else is looking at their menu, and that way I don't hold the table up in terms of ordering. You could even call ahead and get that sorted out before you end up there. But anyway, so off the bat, I let them know that I'm going to have some special needs here. I do it when we're ordering drinks, when we're getting our tea, unsweet tea or water or whatever beverage we're ordering. I'll ask it at that point, and so when they come back, they're prepared to answer my questions. And again, I'm not holding up the process. Eating out is easier when you have the mindset of, I need to ask for what I need, and not be shy about it. So please bear that in mind. It's also easier when you're not paying attention to other people's plates. I can tell you that I've been out to eat with a lot of different folks, and I've ordered the bunless burger and I ordered it with a side salad or the sauteed spinach, and my burger comes and everybody looks over at me and goes, God, that looks really good. I should have what you're having. Because I'll do little tips and tricks. If there's pimento cheese on the appetizer menu, or if there's another burger that has pimento cheese, then I know they have it. And so even though the burger I'm ordering may not have pimento cheese, I might say, I don't want the bun, I won't eat the fries. Can I get the pimento cheese as a side item? And I don't think I've ever been denied that. They will bring it to me. Sometimes they come back and say, there's going to be $1 upcharge. And I say, okay, fine, thank you. But anyway, always ask for what you need and look at the entire menu so you can pick and choose from those things. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about that. Let's go out to eat. Okay, so I've pulled up some restaurants that are popular chains and that are generally available across the United States. And I'm starting with Applebee's. And Applebee's is a restaurant that is fairly easy to eat, but let's take a look. Let me show you some of the strategies that I use if I was going out to eat at Applebee's. I would probably avoid the better for you. I might look to see what they have. It talks about loaded with flavor, not calories, which tends to be low fat. So we'll take a peek there. But I probably would start here at the entrees and main dishes. If there's nothing there, I'm going to look over here at the burgers because I can always order a burger without the bun. So when I go to entrees and main dishes, I'm going to see, wow, there's a steak, and that's usually a good option. There are ribs, but ribs are often coated in barbecue sauce that's full of sugar, and so I'm going to avoid that. Seafood and pasta may be okay, not pasta, but seafood. And then sides. I always want to see what sides they have because sides, I know whether there's something I can ask for a substitute or not. There's a green goddess wedge. That would be a nice sub. Not going to do the tomato basil soup. It probably has flour in it. And the red beans and rice, definitely not. I might ask what the soups are. They have fried shrimp, that's great, and they have a house salad, no croutons with that, and no baked or mashed potatoes or garlic bread. So the green goddess wedge isn't a bad side to ask for. Let's go look at the entrees. I'm going to start with steaks, and there's a grilled sirloin. Sirloin's not my favorite, and certainly I wouldn't do the stout gravy or the potatoes with that. So if I did that, I would ask for the sirloin with maybe the wedge salad. The double barrel whiskey, it talks about garlic mashed potatoes. It's 2 4-ounce sirloins. I'd be interested in asking about the whiskey, the double barrel whiskey, if it had some kind of sweet sauce. There's a 7-ounce sirloin, a 9-ounce sirloin, more sirloin, and then the Bourbon Street steak is a 9-ounce steak. It doesn't say what type it is, so I would ask, and it's probably going to be okay. Their sauteed onions are very high carb. Mushrooms are okay. Wouldn't do the crispy red potatoes, so I might order that with the wedge salad. This one I would ask with the shrimp scampi sauce. I would ask if there's any flour in that. And generally, as I said earlier, we tell the server that we eat a special diet and that we don't have sugar or starches. And so certainly if you asked if there's flour, you would know if that's high carb. But that looks pretty good to me too. Not a huge fan of sirloin, so I might avoid the steak. Let's take a peek at their seafood, and I'll show you a little more. So the stir fry looks like it has a sweet sauce on it. Wouldn't do that one. Loaded brisket enchiladas. The brisket enchilada sounds really good. I might see if I could have that without the, let's see if it has a, nope. I might see if I could have just the filling, but I doubt it. Those sauces and that rice make me nervous. So probably not a great option. Let's see, ooh, there's salmon. That might be a good option. It has spring vegetables on top of steamed potatoes, and then it has grilled salmon with cedar seasoning, creamy white wine, and lemon artichoke. I probably would do that, and I would ask if they could do the salmon on a different vegetable. I would ask specifically if they could do it on spinach. That's my favorite, and that's usually the safest thing to get. So the salmon with spinach would be really good. So what I also do with this is I would look through some of the other sides, and I would see if there was any other vegetable in some other entree that I can substitute. Let's take a peek at the chicken. Sometimes if you see spinach with something else, you can ask for it. I see a lot of potatoes. Let's take a peek at the cedar grilled lemon chicken. That sounds great. There is a Granny Smith apple relish. I would ask for them to leave that off or maybe put it on the side. The vinaigrette, cranberries, rice, honey glazed pecans, and quinoa make that a no for me. If I could just get the grilled chicken with maybe the wedge salad, that could be an option, but none of the other stuff looks really promising. So I probably would go with the salmon, ask if I could get the wedge salad with it, or get spinach if they had it. That's what I'd do at Applebee's. Let's take a peek at Bonefish Grill. We love bonefish. And there's starters. Now, most of the time, you want to avoid the starter menu. If they have, I can't seem to get there, if they have grilled chicken, if they have something grilled, that usually works. For some reason, starters, there it is. I'm clicking and there it is. Now, let me tell you something that I found out really nice about Bonefish Grill. Bang Bang Shrimp. At our local Bonefish, it's $5 on Wednesdays. Okay, so the Bang Bang Shrimp is a great option, but wait a minute, it's fried, isn't it? It is, but did you know if you ask for Bang Bang Shrimp, just boiled, not fried, not fried with the breading, they'll do it. So you get the Bang Bang Shrimp and that creamy, spicy sauce, and there may be canola oil in that sauce, and probably some sugar in the sriracha, but Bang Bang Shrimp, not fried, is a great option, and our local Bonefish will do that for us. We love it. The sashimi tuna would be good. I don't see any problems with that. And so there are a couple of these things that you could have. The ceviche is very good, but it does have the pineapple, coconut, cilantro. I have gotten it without that before, but it's made in that, so it's okay. Let's see, that's probably all that I would have. The lamb chops are fantastic too. I have had those. Oh, and the oysters on the half shell. I love oysters baked Rockefeller style, and that is another possibility for eating at Bonefish Grill. So is the sauteed shrimp and the lime tomato garlic sauce. So Bonefish is one of those places where you can absolutely do starters. Grilled fish, almost any of that is fine, but make sure you look at the sides as well. There's rainbow trout, there's sea scallops and shrimp. It's making me hungry just looking at their menu. There's nutrition information as well on this. So before I go, as I mentioned before, I often will look at the menu ahead of time and make sure that there's something that I can have. All of these sound amazing. I don't see the description of the sides, but I do know, let's see if they have, I don't see a description of the sides. Somewhere they do have the sides, and they do have asparagus usually as a side, and so usually I get asparagus. I've been for their brunch, and one of my favorite things to have for brunch there is, I don't see it now, well, but anyway, they have like an English muffin that they serve with a shrimp, and I don't see it, but I had it, instead of an Egg McMuffin, I had it over spinach, and it was really, really good. They may have changed their brunch menu, or maybe it's different where we are. Oh, let's look at the Eggs Benedict. I bet it's under that. Yeah, I got the traditional Eggs Benedict, and actually I got this one. I got the Bang Bang Shrimp Eggs Benedict. Asked them to not fry my shrimp. They just did it grilled. And then I asked them, instead of English muffin, to put it on spinach. It was amazing, and that's one of my favorite things to go. This Surf and Turf Eggs Benedict, I bet that would be fantastic. If you got that, tell them hold the English muffin, put it over spinach, sauteed spinach, and that is fantastic. That's what I get there. Okay. Let's take a peek at Chili's. Chili's is another place that's fairly easy. Now, Applebee's was more of a challenge. Bonefish a little bit easier. Chili's, there's always burgers, and so if you start to feel desperate, go to the burger menu and look at that. The lighter choices, again, aren't always ideal. They have broccoli, so you know that that's a side you can get. Where we tend to go is the fajitas. That's really a fairly easy thing, because with the fajitas, we eat the, well, this is mix and match, but we usually get the trio. Let's see, in this case, I'd get maybe prime rib, pork carnitas, love pork carnitas. So maybe the rib, the chicken carnitas, or just the prime rib and the carnitas. That's where we tend to go with it, because it has the bell pepper and the onions, the chipotle garlic butter. We tell them to hold the tortillas, and we also tell them to bring, if they will, often if you say like no rice or beans, no tortillas, you can ask for extra guacamole. Go easy on the salsa, because they're really bad about putting sugar in salsa. So at Chili's, we tend to get fajitas. You can look at the other different entrees that they have. And of course, the margarita grilled chicken does have some sugar in it. Be careful with that. Usually shrimp and salmon are among your better choices. Sorry about that. The touch screen. I would not go with the tacos and quesadillas. The steaks, you probably could pick something out of that. Like I said, I usually look at their sides and see what kinds of things they have. Steamed broccoli is a go. Everything else is no. They do have asparagus and garlic roasted tomatoes at $1, and then seasonal vegetables. And that's one of the first questions I'll ask is, what are your vegetables? So those are the options at Chili's. What about the Cheesecake Factory? I know, you're probably thinking that woman is crazy. Let's go to the Cheesecake Factory. Can you eat at the Cheesecake Factory and do low carb? Of course you can. Take a peek at their steaks and chops. We've been there and we've eaten. I got the steak Diane. It was phenomenal. They have fresh spinach here, so I know that I can ask for it here. My husband got, if I can see it, the shrimp and chicken gumbo. Now, it's not going to be probably as low carb as when I make it at home, but it has shrimp, chicken, sausage, tomatoes. But what about the rice? Well, guess what? He asked them to leave off the rice, and he asked if they could substitute cauliflower, because he knew from looking at the menu there was cauliflower in something else. I don't see it right now, but there was cauliflower in something else. And guess what? They were able to do that. So he had the shrimp and chicken gumbo over roasted cauliflower, and he loved it. You could do the same thing here, the fresh salmon. Ask them if there's sugar in the lemon sauce. Whenever you see sauce, be very, very careful, because it's likely to have sugar. And so always ask your server about whether there's sugar in it or not. Oftentimes I'll ask for sauce on the side. A grilled ribeye is a great option, not with French fries and onion strings, but I saw green beans earlier. I saw fresh spinach earlier. I pretty sure there's cauliflower there because we've had it. And so just ask what's possible. I'm trying to think. The shrimp scampi is probably okay. You don't want it with angel hair pasta. Again, anytime you're looking at the pasta dishes, most places will serve that over spinach. Don't ever, ever, ever be afraid to ask. I hope that all of these restaurants are helpful to you. I know that when we eat out, we like to go to Mexican restaurants because it's so easy. At Mexican restaurants, we generally get either chicken poblano, I'm sorry, not poblano, chickens, polo, what's it called? Gosh, polo chorizo, thank you. And it has chorizo and chicken and then a cheese sauce. We really like that. We also tend to, the safest thing is to get fajitas and no rice, no beans, no fajitas, no tortillas, and we ask for extra guacamole, and they generally will accommodate that. Another thing that we do is we eat at places where there are burgers. There's a chain called Bad Daddy's that we love that has amazing burgers. And the key here is when you see something on a menu, don't be afraid to ask. So let's say you're looking at the this menu. Now, the white spinach queso you look at and they go, well, queso is supposed to be melted cheese. This is probably okay. Be careful with that because the melted cheese can have flours. They often use flour as a thickener. So always ask. And they're so sensitive to people who are gluten intolerant. They will tell you because nobody wants you to get sick. Let me tell you, if you get sick, you probably aren't going to leave a great tip. And your server doesn't want that. The tableside guacamole is a great idea. Don't know where that went. The tableside guacamole is a great idea at Chili's. I was looking so that I could show you kind of an idea of what I do with the various things so that I know. Let's go to lighter choices real quick. I've gone back to Chili's on you. And you can see here that there's grilled avocado slices. Wow. Okay, so I would look at the classic sirloin. There's grilled avocado. So even if I picked something from the other menu, not here, let's say I picked a salmon, I would say, you know what? I love to have this salmon. I don't like it with rice. I don't eat rice. Could you do the steamed broccoli and do the grilled avocado? And they might tell you there's $1 extra, but ask. If, you know what, if no would kill you, I would have been dead a long, long time ago. So always ask. But that's exactly the kind of thing that I would do is say, wow, grilled avocado sounds fantastic. I'd be careful if I went with this. I probably wouldn't because I don't care for sirloin, but garlic roasted tomatoes and chopped cilantro sounds fantastic. The fresco salad also sounds really good. But I would ask about the spicy citrus chili sauce because I bet it has sugar in it. Always be careful with the sauces. So I hope that gives you some great ideas. I just chose some random kinds of places that folks probably tend to eat to try to show you what I do is I look at all over the menu. I scour it. I try to look ahead of time if I can. And then when I get ready to order, I ask a lot of questions. There's avocado again. On this, I look at, there's bacon avocado chicken sandwich. That looks fantastic. I might have that no bun and see if they could put broccoli on the side or maybe more of the grilled avocado or that tomato dish that I saw on the other page that we were looking at. The same thing if I go back to Applebee's, I skipped to the entrees. I could go back and look at appetizers there. I would look at the burgers there because sometimes you're not in the mood for a huge, huge meal. Oops, that's a lunch combo. I don't want that. I want to go to the burgers and wow, look at the burgers. Oh my goodness, look, look at that burger. It's got an egg on it. Okay, so I would do, look at that. I'm getting excited. I got to head out to Applebee's. I'll see y'all later. This says bacon and onion piled on fried egg, crispy hash browns, American cheese, and ketchup. Okay, so no hash browns for me, no ketchup for me, but that would be, I love a burger, egg on top of a burger. That looks really good. I might say, you know what, I don't do hash browns or ketchup. Can you put some extra bacon on there for me? The blazoned Texan, it says that it's got onions and jalapenos, shredded brisket, white cheddar, and a grill sauce. I'd ask about the grill sauce, probably wouldn't do that, but that sounds fantastic too. So I'm getting excited about this. The American Standard looks good. There's a triple bacon burger. So if I'm there, let's see, this is pickles, bacon, signature sauce. Again, I'd ask about the signature sauce, but there are good burger options, certainly at Applebee's, even though there weren't a lot of other good options, I think, when we started looking at it. So anyway, wow, let's go out to dinner, everybody. I hope this has been helpful for you.